At the reunion, my aunt mocked me as a college failure. Hours later, my sister's fiancé Googled my name. You ever feel like your own family has already written your life story for you, and you're just stuck playing the villain? For years, every single gathering was a fresh wound, a harsh reminder of everything they thought I wasn't. But what if, one day, the script flipped so hard that they were forced to watch their own carefully constructed narrative crumble, not because of anything I said, but because the rest of the world saw something completely different? My name's Callum. I'm 29, and for most of my life, I was the family joke. Not the funny kind, you know? The kind where people laugh to make sure you know exactly where you stand. Our family had this invisible seating chart. My sister Nora, bright, successful, always at the center. My brother Ethan, orbiting my dad's approval like a satellite, never daring to stray. My mom, perpetually arranging napkins into swans, pretending ignorance was kindness. And then there was Aunt Lorraine, armed with gossip and a glass of sweet tea that was never just tea. Me? I was usually somewhere near the folding chairs, useful only if the printer jammed or someone needed the Wi-Fi password. Getting a text about a reunion never felt like an invitation, it was a summons. A command to show up and prove I belonged in a room that still saw me as the one who didn't finish. If you ask them, my reputation started sophomore year of college. I withdrew 2 weeks after midterms, and they'll tell you I gave up, I ran off, I made a mess. That version was easy for them to fit into the story they already believed. The truth was far less dramatic and a whole lot lonelier. My financial aid package had changed. A paperwork hiccup, they said, that would likely be resolved next semester. But the math didn't lie. The money was gone, and the bills were immediate. Rent didn't negotiate, and my part-time campus cafe job couldn't cover a black hole. I walked home with that withdrawal form in my pocket, telling myself it was just one semester off. That's not how my family remembers it. He quit college to chase some scheme, Aunt Lorraine still likes to say. Our stories split right there and never found their way back. After I left school, I worked 2 jobs, then 3. I learned to repair phones at a strip mall kiosk under humming fluorescent lights that made your skin look gray. I drove a battered sedan at night, the back seat smelling of old fries and spilled soda. I slept 5 hours on good days and dreamed in numbers. Rent due on the 1st, loan interest on the 15th, a paycheck hitting at 12:03 a.m. if payroll was feeling generous. I kept telling myself it was temporary, that I was just on the off-ramp, a little lost, but I'd find the main lane again. What I didn't say out loud was this: sometimes, I actually liked the work. There was a pattern to making broken things whole. A cracked screen becoming a glass pane again. A dead battery waking up at 87%. Hunched over a tiny board with tweezers and solder, I could concentrate in a way that made the rest of the world dim. It felt like solving a puzzle everyone else had decided wasn't worth their time. The first time I told my dad I could fix his phone instead of him buying a new one, he just frowned at the kitchen table. "You're not a technician, Callum," he said. "You're a kid who never finished what he started." He didn't mean it cruelly. In our house, statements like that were just neutral facts. Mom slipped a casserole into the oven. "Bright as ever," she murmured. "Well, maybe a professional should take a look, sweetie. We wouldn't want to make it worse." That's how love sounded there, like careful steering away from the thing you were trying to say. By dessert, Aunt Lorraine was already texting herself reminders to, and then, the part that shocked everyone, watch full story.